Hello, friends. Welcome to Story Behind Podcast. This is the show for people who love hearing a good story and who believe the world could use more positivity. We're the team behind GodUpdates and God2, and we hope these weekly short stories will brighten your day.
Here's why iconic game show host Bob Barker won't have a funeral or memorial. Written by Mel Johnson, read by Adam Staten. The tragic news of Bob Barker passing at the age of 99 on August 26, 2023, left folks reeling. But the iconic game show host made sure there would be no big-time funeral or memorial service after he left this world. Here's why. Bob Barker became a household name after spending decades hosting the popular game show The Price is Right. He was the inaugural host when the show launched in 1972. He remained on the game show until, at the age of 83, Bob Barker finally retired, and comedian Drew Carey took over his duties as host. After retiring, Bob Barker quietly lived out his remaining years until his passing with his longtime partner of 40 years, Nancy Burnett. He died at the age of 99 at his home in the Hollywood Hills. An update released later identified his death as a result of Alzheimer's disease, a diagnosis not publicly known. High blood pressure, hyperthyroidism, and high cholesterol were also listed as other conditions contributing to Bob Barker's death. Typically, when a celebrity dies, their funeral or memorial service gets a lot of attention. But after Bob Barker's passing, his loved ones opted to honor his final wishes, which was not to have a funeral or memorial service. He just felt that should be something very private, explained his publicist Roger Neal. So we're just following his wishes. He wanted the burial to be private. Bob will be buried in the plot he purchased decades ago, next to his late wife, Dorothy Jo Barker. They'll be together, side by side at Forest Lawn Cemetery in the Hollywood Hills, Roger confirmed. Dorothy passed away in 1981 from lung cancer. She and Bob were high school sweethearts and enjoyed a marriage lasting 36 years. They also both shared a love for helping animals, and Bob founded the DJ&T Foundation in her honor, an organization dedicated to aiding low-cost spay and neuter clinics. The passing of his wife sent Bob Barker into a deep depression, and he vowed to never marry again. However, he met Nancy Burnett in 1987. She also shared a love and passion for helping animals. Though the two never wed, they enjoyed a life partnership for over 40 years. And Bob's longtime publicist attributes the couple's relationship as the reason the game show host was able to live for so long. They've been together since 1983, Roger Neal explained. She was in charge of everything for Barker. She took such excellent care of him all these years. Even the last years, as he was getting well into his 90s, she really made sure he had the best of everything. It was sad to hear about Bob Barker passing away. Many took to social media to express their heartache over the loss of the iconic game show host. Adam Sandler, who shared a comedic fight scene with Bob Barker in his film Happy Gilmore, wrote, "Such a sweet, funny guy to hang out with. Loved talking to him. Loved laughing with him. Loved him kicking the crap out of me. He will be missed by everyone I know." Drew Carey also paid tribute to his predecessor, saying, "There hasn't been a day on set that I didn't think of Bob Barker and thank him. I will carry his memory in my heart forever." Plenty of others paid tribute to Bob Barker as well, and CBS put together an hour-long special airing August 31st as a way to honor the late game show host. Though he is now gone, Bob Barker's legacy will live on long after his passing. He will be remembered not just for his epic game show career, but also for the special passion he had for God's creatures.
You're fearfully and wonderfully made. God looks at your heart, not your jean size. Do you know the verses, yet still stress over your body? Oh, I get it. I was raised in church, but I struggled with food, eating disorders, and my body for decades. I'm Heather Creekmore, host of the Compared to You podcast, where we talk about all things body image and comparison from a biblical perspective. We get real about the pressure to focus on appearance in a culture where looks seem to matter most. Whether you're wrestling wrinkles or battling the scale, Compared to You is the show for you. You'll laugh a little and be encouraged a lot. If you're ready to stop comparing and start living, visit lifeaudio.com to listen and subscribe.
The Historical Jesus Podcast is the sweeping saga of the life and times of Galilean Jesus of Nazareth, as well as the faith, religion, and church founded to honor and disseminate his acts and teachings. Join me, Mark Vinette, on this fascinating journey through time, exploring the many great works of Christian theology, literature, architecture, music, and art inspired by the words and deeds of Jesus Christ.
Woman awakes feeling the need to search for missing toddler and finds him on neighbor's porch. Written by Adam Staten, read by Adam Staten. One woman in Florida woke up early one morning and began searching for a missing toddler, a 3-year-old with autism, and she made a miraculous discovery. All parents want nothing more than for their children to be happy, healthy, and safe. So, when one of their children goes missing unexpectedly, a parent's worst fears are realized. The worst possible outcomes begin flooding the mind of a mother and a father during these situations. It would be a nightmare for all parents. That was the scenario a family vacationing in Central Florida faced when Thomas, their 3-year-old child with autism, went missing. Luckily, one woman, Karina Minchala, woke up early that morning and began searching for the young man. WFLA reports that the family noticed the child was missing a little before 3 a.m. The door was wide open and Thomas was nowhere to be seen. To make matters worse, there was a lake near where the family was staying. The Polk County Sheriff's Office immediately began searching for the young man. Law enforcement officials looked for Thomas by ground and air and even brought out the canine units. But then, around 7 a.m., about 4 hours after Thomas had gone missing, Karina, who lives in the area, woke up, checked her HOA's website, and noticed an alert about the missing child. She sprang into action. Karina first looked for the young man in several places without any luck. But despite the darkness, she found Thomas unharmed. He was asleep in her neighbor's front porch swing. I went over to him, Karina says. He was, sleeping, and I woke him up, very lightly so he won't get startled. I was like, baby, wake up. You want to see mommy? And he was like, mommy. He was all happy. The video captured from above shows the emotional moments when Thomas was reunited with his family. It was an improbable recovery and reunification of a child with his family. Thomas's family must have experienced waves of happiness and relief knowing their son was safe and sound. Thomas's father, Renan Santos, described his son's rescue and recovery as divine intervention. It is a miracle, he said. Yeah, it is. To stop and think about the life, my family, we're so happy right now. Fear you not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you. Yes, I will help you. Yes, I will uphold you with the right hand of my righteousness. Isaiah 41:10.
Thank you so much for listening to Story Behind Podcast. We're really glad you joined us for this week's story. To see photos and videos that may have been referenced in this episode, check out the links in the show notes. And if you enjoyed what you heard today, subscribe to our podcast, and please tell a friend about us. We'd also love it if you'd rate us and leave us a review. It really does help more people find us. Story Behind is a Salem Web Network production.
Hello, I'm Adam Comer.
And I'm Ryan Chittister.
And we are the host of Life After Addiction podcast. What we believe is that addiction is not a surprise to God.
That's right. We discuss addiction from a biblical worldview and how true freedom comes through a personal relationship with Jesus Christ.
Absolute freedom from addiction. The secular worldview of once an addict, always an addict is just not true. If you or someone you loved struggles with addiction, subscribe to Life After Addiction at lifeaudio.com.